evening, guys. My name's Tom. I'm the Chief Information Officer of Enactus. And basically, to tell you a bit about myself, I'm a second-year student. I do software engineering. I currently I've worked in management. I've done sales, and I own my own company as well, which does digital marketing consultancy. And Laura?
I'm Laura. I'm a second-year student studying economics and politics. And I don't have a business, and I haven't done sales, but I am an Enactus, so I'll tell you about Jailbreak.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Jailbreak, firstly, just to give you a heads up, what is Jailbreak? Well, basically, what we want to achieve here is we want to get, so hands up if you're in your groups of friends. Are any of you came alone, or are any of you friends? So, you're in groups, right? So, the ones who are alone, put your hands up. Okay, right. Do you recognise anyone in the room? No, that's fine. All right. Well, not to worry, because this is the early bird. This is the early bird presentation. So next week, same time, we will also have another one. So what you can do is you can bring your friends over to hear about again what we're about to do. Basically, groups of 2 to 3. You know, we can possibly go up to 4. But obviously you've got to remember with this type of thing that you've got to be travelling. So, you know, hitchhiking and that type of stuff. So if you're in large groups, it's going to be very difficult to travel, say for example, in a small car. So these are the type of things that you've got to keep in mind. Basically we expect you to be travelling on boat, trucks, planes, walking, bicycle, just don't steal them. And yeah, you have 36 hours to do this in. So basically the challenge is to get as far as possible with no cash and no credit using any form of transport, again within 36 hours. Oh, there we go. I do software engineering, but you know, hate my thing. You have 36 hours, so there probably will be no time for surfing, unfortunately. And I stole this picture from Shutterstock, so don't tell them. And can anyone spot anyone famous here? You see anyone famous? Yeah? Who's famous? I'll make it easy for you, right? We've got Dwight York. Yeah, he's a footballer at one point. I don't know what he does now. And we've got Graham Norton, he's a TV host. So, you know, I've travelled, you know, around Europe and around the country, but I've just never been fortunate enough to bump into celebrities. So hopefully you guys will, you know, meet famous people and take snapshots. So this is the type of thing that happens, you know, during Jailbreak. So I'm going to show you a video of, maybe last year before, of what went down basically on the initial startup. So it's pretty crazy, honestly. Sound on.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go!
It's anarchy, right? So that's why you need insurance, guys. So let me just so you have free roaming Europe. This is a map of Europe for those who don't know. So you know here you can see England, Spain, and this here. I feel like Africa's down here. Right, this is Turkey, right? You can't go here. This is Turkey, right? Am I right? Turkey. Big holiday there. It was nice. It was all inclusive. So yeah, you can go anywhere there apart from Russia and Turkey and Morocco.
Can we leave Europe?
No, unfortunately not. Because the thing is, I mean, if you was to leave Europe, then we'd have to charge you more on the insurance, see? But we'll talk about that more later. So this, see, what you find with Jailbreak is that it's an Enactus thing. It's very much Enactus focused. It's a fundraiser. So there's a video of a blog of students in Cambridge. Cambridge have an Enactus society as well, just like Lancaster, that's why we're here, right? And these guys are going to just go through a few things. Now, I'm going to keep it short. I mean, if it goes on too long, then I might need to cut it, but, you know, basically this is what these guys do. I don't think I can wait for 4 minutes, guys. We're having a great time, right?
How far you want to go? I see. Okay. Matty, how do you think we're going to go? Virgin Galactic up to the moon. Okay. Not a bad effort. The nearest show. Okay, we've got like 2 minutes left to go. 4, 3, 2, 1. Thanks for your sponsorship. It's been a shopping centre by bouncers, Ali helping us into the Pembroke Library. For 115 in about 2 hours. So we've just been told that we can get a half price reduction in Faith Fair by 2 other people, so we're going to go look.
I already got paid for the train tickets, yeah? Not yet.
What do you want me to do from there?
Just been back and upgrading on the train as well.
Heading to Green Park, and that's on the way to Heathrow.
See how the jailbreakers in front of us look like they've been stopped by the police. The meeting is called out. So the Ritz Club, and we're hoping to find the Oxbridge and...
Do you have a travel agent you can call? Or how about a last minute, if you went last minute and you went down to the airport?
His name and his number, said call him at 6 o'clock after his meeting, and if we found the flight, then he will get over it.
All different places. Yeah, where we can possibly go. Literally most exciting thing ever. Ron is at Flight Centre. He's going to possibly buy this flight right now.
I hope we can win. If I had more time, I could have gotten around the world and taken to the Mayfair Ball. All those investment bankers over there, you can talk about at least 15 pounds.
Going to Singapore.
We're going to Singapore!
On the way to the plane to Singapore. Just got off the plane, got to Singapore. Until they come back, you won't get a taxi after meeting our guy.
What's your parade?
We're on the 15th floor, it's massive hotel. Back to Singapore.
Right, so basically these guys got to Singapore, and that's pretty impressive. Now obviously their conditions, their rules, their society is slightly different than ours. Obviously again, we will cover you guys up to Europe. So story time. Let me present to you one of our success stories. Guys, if you want to come up.
Hello, I'm Alex, and
I'm Kate.
what year did we do it? 2015. So in 2015 we did this, and we won it, getting to. Well, to be honest, we didn't get anywhere very exciting. We got to a small service station outside Vienna. But along the way, it was pretty entertaining. So I feel like what we're going to do is just tell you the story of getting there, really. We're going to tell it just as we can remember it, and then if one of the other of us remembers something that has been missed out, we'll jump in. But basically, yeah, we started off at like 6 PM it starts, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In Alex Square. Everybody, as you could see from the video, was chaotic, running off, running everywhere. We had not done a lot of planning.
We realised that everyone else was a bit more prepared than us.
Yeah, so we decided not to run off. We went back home and made a sign. And made some sandwiches, made a sign, and then started about an hour after everybody else with our new sign, and we felt a bit more prepared, and we got first lift to the service station just on the M6, like the first service station, getting there.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably the key the whole way, wasn't it, is getting to service stations.
Yeah, service station hopping is
because not many people actually pick up hitchhikers. It's something I found out. But if you knock on the window and say, we're doing a charity hitchhike, wave a sign at them and try and tell them what you're doing, why you're doing it, then most people will say yes. And so then the second lift we got took us halfway across the country. She was going to somewhere in North Wales.
Yeah, so she dropped us off like just before she turned off for North Wales.
Yeah, so we were trying to head to Dover. And so we got there. From there we bumped into another guy that was going to Brighton, I think, yeah. He was a nice guy, to be fair. I think that's one of the advantages of this. And since doing this, I've done a lot of hitchhiking all over the world. Purely because of how much I enjoyed this, purely because you meet some incredible people. Just the way that this travelling works. But anyway, yeah, we got off on the M25.
Maidstone services.
Maidstone services, yes. Because this guy was headed to Brighton. And whilst we were there for quite a while, because we kind of figured, well, we need from here to get somebody that's not just going to Dover, but going across the channel. Because if you can get a lift with somebody going across the channel, then you can be in their vehicle. They get a ticket for the vehicle, for the ferries, not for the people. So that was our idea, is from that services we wanted somebody actually crossing the channel. So we asked a few coaches, sorry, and they were all like, no. And eventually we asked this Hungarian guy, Bert, and he was going all the way to Budapest. And he was a bit hesitant at first, and then we kind of told him our story, and eventually he was like, yeah, okay, I'll take you. Whilst we were at the services, so this was the unfortunate thing about our year, whilst we were at the services, we got a call from the Enactus team. Basically, it was the year of the Paris attacks, and it was the weekend of the Paris attacks. So France closed its borders. The country was in lockdown, supposedly. And we were on our way to Dover with Bert at this stage. He didn't have a ticket for the ferry. So I remember trying to extensively persuade him to go to Ipswich instead of Dover, so that we could go there. But he wasn't buying any of it, and he was like, no, they can't just close borders. So we went to Dover, and we had I probably shouldn't say this, we had a heated debate with the Enactus people, because they told us you can't go into France. It's in lockdown. You just can't do it.
But at the time we were
stood in the customs office in Dover, speaking to a customs officer, watching the French president, Prime Minister, President, I don't know, on the news, saying the country's in lockdown, nobody's allowed in or out. And then we turned to the customs officer, and they were like, well, he's not told us that. But so we just thought, okay, well, we'll go for it.
Yeah. So we got on the ferry. Got another phone call saying,
don't get on the ferry. And we were like, well, we're on the ferry. so we got off the ferry.
We were in France for about 10 minutes.
Yeah, because we landed in Dunkirk. There wasn't anybody stopping us at the border. I'm not even sure. Did we even show our passports? Anyway, probably not. But anyway, straight through into Belgium. I've got a photo somewhere. Which screen is on? Is this one, right?
Yeah, we didn't.
No. I'm just trying to find. Can I?
We'll
show it at the end of this time. But I've got a photo of the Belgian border. It's basically just a road. And this was supposedly on a time when the country was in lockdown. So we were out of France. We let Enactus know, and they were happy again. They stopped having to kind of worry too much. And because of this incident, nobody else had got out of the UK. So we were through Belgium into Germany by the time that anybody else came out of the UK. Yeah. I think one other team managed to get on a ferry going to Santander,
Yeah.
which was probably the way that an actress wanted us to do it, given the situation. But on the way through, was it through Germany or through Austria? Either way, but the driver, who we were still with the same guy, he was going all the way to Budapest, he was getting very tired at this point. For a little while, because I've got a license and it was a company van, so I think he was insured. So for a little while I drove this Hungarian refrigerated van on the German tour. My first experience driving in Europe.
I was there for you and
Yeah. Whilst Bert slept in the passenger seat. And then eventually I got tired, so we pulled over and Bert was asleep for like, probably like 6 or 7 hours sleeping. We just kind of moided around this German market. It was like a Christmas market, which was kind of nice. And we were there for hours and hours and hours, and eventually we were like, yeah, we don't actually have the time to get to Budapest in the 36-hour period. So at the 36-hour mark, we stopped at a service station, and at the end of when you think you've reached your final destination, you're supposed to kind of have a photo, or certainly in our year, I don't know if they're doing this again this year, but in our year you had to take a selfie like outside of something identifiable, which for us was just a service station. And so there's a photo of us somewhere looking very tired outside of an Austrian service station at the 36-hour mark. And then, so that was our final destination. I can't remember how far it was, but it was somewhere in mid-Austria.
Yeah.
And then because obviously there's no use going to some random service station in mid-Austria, so we carried on for a bit. We were still kind of hoping to get to Budapest, just because it was a nice place to be. But we stopped just outside of Vienna and tried to make our way back. I think this year, am I right in thinking the winner gets a flight home?
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that's something that didn't happen in our year.
No,
so we had to stop and try and work out the cheapest flight back from Europe, which was in Stuttgart. So then we also had to get to Stuttgart somehow.
So we had to get back to Germany.
Yeah.
From
so we hitched another lift to Munich and then got a bus from there. But it was it's definitely, I think, one of the better experiences of first year. It made me want to continue travelling like this, and I have done. And yeah, I'd highly recommend it. Yeah. If anybody has any questions, please shout them out. Oh, one other thing, just with the mention of watching that video about the people that got to Singapore, the winner from the year before us was no longer the winner. Well, he won it, but it transpired that he jumped on a train without paying, and obviously that's comes under the not paying bit, but because it was breaking the law, he got disqualified. Yeah. So I thought I should flag that up.
Yeah.
As a don't do. But other than that, yeah. Any questions, Shannon?
If you could again, what would you do differently?
I'd keep going. Like we stopped in Vienna because we wanted to get back for lectures.
And practicals.
And
But then, like, we got to like exam time at the end of the year, and
it really didn't matter.
It didn't matter. We should have
hindsight,
stayed.
we should have carried on and gone straight through to Budapest and spent a few days there.
Yeah. So I mean, if you get somewhere cool, then hang around for a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
If you have proof of a flight that you're on, but the flight lands after the end date, does it count or does it not count? If you're
I guess you gotta ask these guys.
Yeah, I mean, all those type of questions we'll take at the end.
Okay.
I think somebody asked a similar question our year, and I think they said like, oh, we can work out where the flight was at the 36-hour mark, so I don't know if that's what you do.
Yeah, we'll go through all the rules and on all the variables in regards to that very shortly.
Yeah.
Did you find any sponsor?
We didn't.
What's that?
Did we find any sponsors?
Oh, well, I mean, in terms of raising money, yes, but
Yeah.
not in terms of like that guy that paid for them to go to Singapore. No.
No, we just got lifts the whole way, which was free.
But a few people on the way were like, oh, well, we can't give you the lift, but we'll donate something to an actor.
Yeah, so we just gave them links to like the page and the
But yeah.
All right, yeah, good round of applause. So, I mean, as you guys can have it, guys mentioned, I mean, you know, try and listen to our advice, you know, as you're getting by. You know, if the borders are closed, you know, there's a good reason for that. Obviously, you know, we are very concerned with your safety, but, you know, thankfully these guys made it back, you know, perfectly well, and everything like that. So, so Anactus, I mean, did anyone come to the intro talk last week? Anyone? Yeah, well, of course you did. You're the president, right? I would expect you to. So, I mean, a few people, right, okay, so just to give you a heads up as to what Anactus do, you know, we basically create sustainable businesses for people less fortunate than ourselves, build it up around them. We help fund them in terms of marketing, business administration, and once the business becomes sustainable, we basically give them the business. Now, that might sound unusual, but we kind of want to operate slightly different to a charity. We want to be able to empower people and make you know, a direct impact and a direct difference on people's lives. So we see possibilities, we take action, and then we enable progress. So there we are. So heads up as to what your fundraising is actually going to be doing and how it helps us to support our projects. So here we have a Project Trust. This aims to empower survivors of human traffickers and help them fully reintegrate into society. The business model that we're creating around them is a soap manufacturing company. So where they make soap and then they sell the soap, and hopefully we want them to be able to employ more people and create that to be sustainable. The support for this goes towards the research, the communications, of channels between us and them. We also need to help create a source of income, and also it helps build that platform for the victims of human trafficking. As you can quite imagine, it would be hard for them to integrate into society. Another one we have, which is called Difference Enabled. This helps people who have autism. As you can see here, the statement basically states that the heart and drive behind Zest, which is the business model around them, is about creating the business to help people with autism in the local community. A bit of heads up as to what Zest is. So basically we create packaged food, so things like salads, fruits, this type of thing. The people who have autism, we employ them, and then they sell this, and then again, it's the same business model around that. So again, the marketing, the business administration, etc., etc. And this again helps us support the mentoring, the skill building, and the work experience for them as well. So again, it is kind of key that we do raise funds for this type of thing. Project Amity, you know, that helps source grants, they sell knitting items, trips for elderly, and creates methods of transport. We also want to engage the elderly as well. Now, again, we are, with our projects, we brainstorm, we come up with different ideas on the way how we can materialize a, again, sustainable business model. So currently at the moment, this is a free thing that we're doing. We run knitting classes every Friday with a number of up to 23 ladies who attend this on a regular basis. And again, we want to focus on trying to, you know, create a sustainable business model around that. We want to increase engagement and also raise awareness, because you can imagine as you get older, different circumstances for each individual person, you know, and it can also be quite lonely as well. So Innovate, one of our newest projects. Basically, this helps provide business mentorships in South Africa to aspiring entrepreneurs who, and also we want to be able to create access to the internet for these guys as well. As you can see here, this is the business model. This is our newest one, so you know, we want high potential and keen entrepreneurs from South Africa. We want, you know, there is a lack of global thinking and project management enterprise in this area. So what we do is we strengthen that by building that. We have other people on board, as you can see. We have project leaders and stuff like that who run this type of thing, and again, this helps, you know, us put our mark on the globe. So why would you participate? Basically, it's a unique challenge, right? I don't know many places where you have the opportunity to be able to, you know, just throw on a Mario costume and, you know, run across Europe, you know. It's incredibly fun as well. Again, you get to look like an idiot in public through fancy dress, so, you know. And it's friendly competition, as I mentioned earlier. You guys are going to be like groups of 2 to 3 and stuff like that as you're traveling. So you're going to be in teams, you're going to be competing against each other and that sort of thing. Basically, you've got to jam your way out of the UK, you know, that's what you've got to do. You've got to think outside the box. As these guys mentioned, you know, these were not asking, they were telling, you're taking me to wherever you're taking me, you know. That's basically what they were doing. And, you know, help build confidence as well. So any introverts in here or anything like that, kind of like myself, you know, it helps build confidence. So you get to visit beautiful places like service stations and that type of stuff. And it restores your faith in humanity, because who in their right mind would have thought you could just go up to someone and say, right, can I have a lift to such and such a place? I mean, normally you'd expect the answer to be no, but you know, when you tell them, you know, the reasons behind as to why you're doing it, then, you know, it kind of creates that empathy, and then that helps, you know, get you to where you want to go. So again, it restores your faith in humanity. And again, the main focus of this is to help support a cause of sustainability for the less fortunate. So, is anyone in societies or any football teams here? Anyone? Yeah? Alright, what societies are you in?
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse, what about yourself? Water polo? Anyone else? What about yourself? Pardon?
Kickboxing.
Kickboxing?
Snow sports.
Pardon?
Snow sports.
Snow sports? Oh, nice. I was looking at that. That's pretty cool. Is anyone else in any societies?
Yeah, DJ.
DJ? Alright, yeah. So what I encourage you guys to do is to bring your societies, get on board, because what we'll be able to do is we can have societies that compete against each other, and that type of thing, which is quite cool, right? So wear your colours, represent your society, go out in your lacrosse uniform or DJing headphones, I guess, right? Just wear your headphones. I listen to my headphones on the bus on the way to a unit. It's very fun. But if you do wish to engage in and represent your society, do contact us via social media. Right. So yeah, sign up. Lots of luck.
Well, that was amazing. You're not an introvert. You're such an extrovert. Anyway, to sign up, you need to fill in the terms and conditions sheets, and there is a medical form that you do need to fill in as well, because we don't want anyone passing out in the middle of Germany or something. We have no idea what's wrong with you. You need to pay £20 for a registration fee, and every individual who wants to take part needs to raise a fund of at least £50, which will go to Enactus. And obviously you'll get a confirmation email like you do for everything else. The information will be available online, but we'll send an email about all of this, so just like keep looking at your emails basically. And you need to just raise as much money as possible. So
yeah, get your hustle on basically. So do it by any means.
No threatening.
Yeah,
don't be nasty.
Yeah, no balaclavas or anything.
No balaclavas. Wear clothes.
Yeah. Nice. Alright, and all this information will be available at enactuslu.org. I built a website, by the way, just thought I'd share that with you, you know.
Well done.
Oh. I know, right? Trying to sell to anyway. So the registration fee, yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, it's £20 and it covers your insurance, which is why obviously you can't go outside of the EU because that'll be pushed up a lot more. I'm not sure if they can go outside the EU. We'll speak to the president after, but £20 EU. And then the jailbreak teas, which is probably how you're probably able to get like the free transport maybe, because you're kind of proving that you're not just wanting like a free lift or something, like you have proof, and an information pack. But yeah, that £20 is needed. And you don't need to fundraise it, it's just like your own pocket.
Alright, so how to stay updated? Basically, on social media, okay, this is where we're going to be posting all of our updates. And also, the website's going to be there for you to generally sign up, but we're going to be posting on social media, Enactus Lancaster Jailbreak, and also the Enactus Lancaster page, and also Twitter as well, but the main focus will be around Facebook. So when you do sign up, you will be in a group as well, so you will also have access to all the information, and you will then become potential, what's the word? It's something to do with like, we talked about it during the meeting. Fugitives, yeah, because obviously you're breaking out of jail and you become a fugitive, right? So you get to talk about your fugitives. Alright. So this year, we aim to raise over £12,000. It's very achievable. Obviously, this might look small, but we have many more intro talks on the way. So again, guys, if you have friends that you believe that will be interested in escaping the UK and getting as far as possible and catching free rides and going a bit crazy, get them involved. It's essential. It's good that you pack the essentials when you do this thing. So like food, water, vodka maybe. So these type of essentials will help you get to there. That type of thing. So
last year they did make $8 grand. Well, obviously we want a bit more money this time, don't we? But then they made even more money the first year. So let's push for 12 grand.
Yeah, let's smash our target this year. Let's absolutely go crazy. This is probably the biggest fundraising event in Lancaster University. So this is definitely achievable. And this year we've set our goals extremely high because we build sustainable businesses. So therefore we think big. And we want to save the world, right? We all want to make a positive impact. And why not do that while having fun at the same time? I mean, as you can see, these are other people who have taken part at Lancaster. They've gone Paris, they've gone to, what was that, pub? Oh no, it's in France. It's a pub in France, isn't it? Look, what does that say? So that's the, could I see that right? I know everything, right? So they're in France, and this person's, it's somewhere in the country, or somewhere in a different country. But it's somewhere on planet Earth, right?
Tenerife.
What?
Tenerife.
Oh, Tenerife.
Yeah.
This guy's in Tenerife. So you might actually have time to surf. Alright, so this is how the timeline works. Basically, you send in the documents, you sign up via the website. You get added to the Jailbreak Facebook group, and then you need to raise £50 to compete. And yeah, you attend a safety brief, which is very important. We strongly advise that you turn up to that. Well, it's compulsory, it's not even important. It's compulsory, so don't miss it. Alright, and it starts on the 17th of February. No, it doesn't. That's a lie. Yeah, the lectures do it right down now. Is it?
17th, 19th of November, guys.
November.
And the deadline to apply is the 5th of November. So you have about 2 weeks and 3 days.
Alright. And then you receive the prize once the thing's done, right? Get your prizes. All of this information is going to be online. All of this information is going to be in your welcome packs and everything like that when you sign up. Now, the rules. Do you want to explain the rules?
Yes. So, for every 3 hours you have to check in just to prove that it's safe, basically, isn't it? You're not being kidnapped or anything. It's quite serious. And you need to tell them, like, if you've changed transport, when you arrive somewhere, when you leave somewhere. It's literally just all safety to make sure that you're safe, because you are roaming free by yourself, and Enactus does have like a care of responsibility for you. You do have to be 18 plus because you have to be an adult and you are like traveling Europe by yourself. and you need to provide evidence when you are like the furthest away as possible, because you could be in your lounge eating food, doing nothing but saying you're in Germany or something. So just make sure there is proof when you do it. Like these people, I don't understand what she is doing.
Right. Well, I mean, obviously their priority was to, you know, my mate's dying, I'm going to take Snapchat. You know, probably didn't call us, right? I mean, I doubt you guys would have called us, you know. But yeah, it's important that you contact us if anything. Obviously, this guy's just can't handle it, can he? But it's fine. You know,
as long as you check in, it's alright.
He'll be alright. Did this guy make it back in one piece?
Should we check?
I think it's quite important. It might be a bit late now though, right?
It's like that.
No, it did make it in time. Like, we've never ever had a problem with safety or any such issues. This is simply a Snapchat from what I can see, so I don't see any issues with safety.
Is this so inactive?
And also, if anything happens to you, you're also covered by insurance.
Yeah.
100%.
So, you know, if you lose a leg tonight, get paid out, right? So, but it's true, right? That's what insurance does. You know, serious stuff. So yeah, don't Snapchat. Alright, prizes. Alright, we love competing, we love prizes, you know what I mean? You're in one of the top universities in the UK, you know, you're probably pointing down at your friends who didn't make it, saying ha ha ha. You know, obviously, it's a competition. So prizes, right, first, second, so prizes go out to the first person who, well, when I say first, like the furthest person away, right? And then the second furthest person away. And then the best dress, so, you know, be imaginative, right? You know, best photo, so for example, this guy here in the management school, amazing. He probably won the best photo. Oh no, he's an exec. Sorry. And also the worst attempt. So, I mean, if you get as far as, say, the underpass, for example, you get a prize for that as well. Now, I don't know what it might be. What potentially could the worst be? It'll probably be a sticker or something saying that you passed it.
A free Sultans.
A free
No,
Sultans?
last year, sorry to interrupt again. Last year we actually gave out a helicopter ride, and the year before it was a hot air balloon ride.
Yeah, the hot air balloon ride was to us.
Do you do it?
No, not yet.
Oh,
I went away.
You still got
I keep getting cancelled.
Still got my house.
Sorry. Yeah, and by the way, you don't get a hot air balloon if you make the worst attempt. You have to be first, just to make that clear, you know. So, yeah. Hot air balloons, helicopter rides, all that good stuff. So, more information, right? Again, can't stress all this information is going to be on the website and on Facebook and possibly on Twitter. Okay, and I've finished in a good time. Any questions or anything regarding this?